The $5 meal deal at McDonald's means you get to pick between a McDouble or a McChicken. Then get a small fry, a small drink, and a 4-piece McNuggets. That's a lot of McDonald's for not a lot of money. Get the $5 meal deal today.
Prices and participation may vary for a limited time only.
Cut the commute and up the convenience for your next dermatologist visit. Non-segmental vitiligo patients 12 and older can virtually discuss repigmentation with Opzelura ruxolitinib cream as soon as today. Get started on your pursuit for repigmentation with topical Opzelura. Visit Opzelura.com to connect with a derm to see if Opzelura is right for you. Provider availability may vary. For patients taking therapeutic biologics, other JAK inhibitors, or strong immunosuppressants such as cyclosporin, Opzelura is not recommended.
Opzelura can lower your ability to fight infections. Tell your doctor if you have or had an infection, TB, hepatitis B or C, blood clots in your legs or lungs, heart attack, stroke, cancer, high cholesterol, are a smoker, or pregnant. Opzelura may cause serious lung infections, certain cancers, immune system problems, blood clots, and low blood cell counts. Major cardiovascular events or death occurred in those 50 plus taking oral JAK inhibitors. The most common side effects were acne and itching where applied.
Call 866-564-8484 to learn more about prescription Opzelura for non-segmental vitiligo.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 11 of Wholeheartedly with Kendall and Galey. We are so happy to be here. We are off of install in New York, and our feet don't hurt anymore. We are better. Well, maybe Kendall's not better rested. She's been flying everywhere, but I am better slept.
Good.
And we're getting our mojo back, and we are so excited because we have a very special guest today who's going to be joining us very soon. This is Taryn Delaney Smith. She is the friend, former Miss New York, who has an amazing glow-up story that we're going to share with you. She is our friend in New York who we surprised with an apartment makeover in 72 hours. So she's going to be here, tell her story, and give her reaction to all the work that Kendall and I did for her. So we're very excited. But first, we have a little airport story.
Yeah. Galey, if there's anything, and this is why this was so out of the blue, one of the things I admire most about you that I don't personally possess, and Alex can attest to this, is that I'm like Mr. Magoo. I forget everything wherever I go. There is like a Whoop charging band that I left in Texas. There's an AirPod somewhere over the Mississippi River. I just leave everything everywhere, okay? Now you are the most organized, astute,
psychotic, you can say it.
Well, I don't know if I'd use that word. I think it's a gift. I think it can also be it's a tool, right? It can destroy, it can build. But I will say, you're like a human AirTag. Like, you just know where everything is at all times. So this floored me. So I will let you go and share. But I want you to understand that this was slightly validating for me, just as somebody who's a forgetful lass. So please, by all means.
Yeah, so I went from being CDO and having a perfect track record of never forgetting anything ever in my life, quite honestly, except for people's names. Sometimes I'm bad about that. But other than that, I just don't forget things. I am an elephant, and I made a little boo-boo. And by little, I mean full-blown panic attack in the first Terminal A at Newark Airport. Okay, so what had happened was I just was awake for 84 hours straight, basically, did not sleep. I was on ladders that were very shaky, actually, not OSHA certified, doing wallpaper.
I can attest.
Yeah, it was sketchy.
Dangerous.
We borrowed it from the bottom of this apartment, and it should have stayed there. But anyways, we were just not sleeping. We were on our feet, painting, wallpapering. And then I also, had to take 6.5 hours of photos with my really professional $4,000 Canon camera. This comes into play. Wait for it. I took 6.5 hours of photos before Taryn came home Monday morning for the reveal, which I was still awake for since I woke up at 4:30 a.m. Friday morning to get on the plane to go to New York. I was still living the same day come Monday morning. I take 6.5 hours of photos. I want perfect lighting. I want every angle. I need vertical, horizontal. I'm going through all the motions because I have this coffee table book coming out and they only are allowing me to do professional shot photos. So I bought this camera and I was like, I can DIY this. I don't need to hire a photographer. I got this. So I'm taking all my photos and I'm so ready for this. We do the reveal. My left eye is quivering the whole time from lack of sleep. Like my eye just needs to close. And I'm like, all I can think about is getting on this damn plane and going to sleep. Like I'm picturing my head against the window just because I always do the window seat because that's the only way I can sleep. I'm picturing my head against the window and just literally passing out. Like, don't talk to me, don't touch me. And if you do, fine, I won't wake up for it because I am a zombie at this point. So I get to Newark Airport. I'm there with Kay on my team. She's got an hour later flight and we're going through the motions. We go through security. We're trying to talk, but it's not really, you can't really understand what we're saying because we're both kind of zombies. Like, I imagine if my dogs were trying to have a conversation with each other. Yeah, you just can't understand it. We get through security. We're halfway to my gate, and I stop and I take a picture of this funny sweatshirt that I see sitting outside a shop, and it says, "I'm cute, but sometimes I curse a lot." And I was like, oh, that was me on install. So I take a picture of it, and we keep walking. And I get to the check-in, and it says, 18 minutes left on boarding. And I'm like, whew, in the nick of time, I made it. And then I look down to grab my roller suitcase, and it's gone. Full panic, full exhausted, cannot, like my words are slurring, my eye is tweaking. And all I'm thinking is, I just want to get on the plane and sleep. And now I'm having to reverse, put my whole body into fight or flight panic mode. And I'm wearing wedges stupidly, and because they're on my boots. And I just go sprinting through the airport. And I'm like, maybe I just left it in the middle when I went to take that picture of that sweatshirt. Maybe I just left the roller in the middle of the main airport and I just took the picture and I just kept walking. And so I go and I ask the security guards, I ask the people in the shops right there, and nobody's seen anything. And I just start crying. And I'm also realizing I have 2 minutes left on boarding. And I'm like, oh my God. So now I'm sprinting to the plane. And as I'm flying to the plane, I realize, what is in my suitcase? Like, is this really worth crying over, Galey? And then it hits me. My $4,000 Canon camera and all of the photos of the project that I just destroyed my body to create are in, I can't replicate that. I can't replicate her reaction again. You just can't replicate it. And it's all in that bag. And then also my backup cell phone that I took so much footage from the install and I hadn't downloaded it yet onto my computer. That is also in my bag. And I'm just thinking, oh no, now I can replace clothes, I can replace luggage. I cannot replace this. And so that's when I go into full panic attack. I texted you, Kendall, and you went into best friend mode. You put out a PSA on all of your social media accounts. You were like, Galey, I will drive there. What terminal? I'm going there right now. I'm ready. I'm in the car. You were on a mission.
I was ready to go. I was down in DC with Alex, and we had to go. I have to film something for TaylorMade. And of course, that also went sour, but that by no means was anywhere near. But anyway, so we're kind of going through chaos. I'm like, oh my gosh, Alex, she doesn't have her suitcase. What do we do? And he goes, do we need to drive to Newark? We can drive to Newark. I was like, okay, it's 4 hours away. By the time we get there, maybe no. I was like, okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a screenshot of Galey's story, and I'm going to make a green screen plea and put it on my Instagram stories and put it on TikTok and just be like, hi guys, anybody at Newark Airport, because that's the airport I fly out of. I personally love Terminal A, and quick tangent, Terminal A single-handedly made New Jersey 10 times better because that terminal is beautiful. Here's the problem though. It looks like a forest on the inside. I'm not joking. There's shrubs and loungers and all this stuff. So if you do miss a bag, there's a lot of space where things could be, which is great 99% of the time, not in this instance. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, I have to know somebody who works at Newark, or I have to know somebody to know somebody, especially with who follows me that are in the area. So I post this video, and then I realize, because Alex and I are looking at it, and he goes, did you put that song on it? And I was like, no. And this is the best part. This was suggested by TikTok, which, okay, they are listening to everything we're saying, and AI is getting creepy good because it suggested this song. And you guys know this one. It's that Carmen one that goes da 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 da. You know it.
Yeah.
That it's like the extra dramatic, languid version of that. So as I'm describing the poor thing, I'm like, guys, please, she's freaking out. This is so important. It has her camera. It has this. That's the song on the background. And it's too late because I've already posted it because I rushed it to post it to try to help get your bag. And we're laughing. It was nuts.
I was on the tarmac getting ready to take off and I see your post and it was literally the most needed moment of comic relief because it was just like, dun, 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 dun. And you're like, guys, you got to help my friend Galey. She's in New York. And I was like, why is this so freaking funny? Like it legit made me laugh. And it wasn't just Kendall. So many of you guys came out. The people showed up. I had people that were like, hey, I live 10 minutes from there. I'll drive there and I'll search the whole terminal. Hey, my brother works in airport authority. I'll give you his phone number. You can call him directly. Hey, you just need to do this. Go to this website. Like, and then like the other 20% were like, girl, you need AirTags real bad.
That was what Alex said.
I know, but I don't think to put I wouldn't put an AirTag like in my purse because it's always on my person. Like I wouldn't think to put an AirTag on my carry-on because I think it's always with me. It comes into the stall with me in the bathroom. Like that girl doesn't leave my side.
I know, because you're usually this way. But as a walking Mrs. Magoo, I have an AirTag for my wallet. I have an AirTag for my keys. I have an AirTag for every purse. This was like an addition from getting into the relationship that I've been in. I have an AirTag. Honestly, I could have one up my butt and I wouldn't know. Like I am AirTagged out. Okay. And it is a game changer. And it is so calming to know because when you have anxiety and you're, I don't know, going on a plane, train, and automobile to get wherever you need to go and you're waiting for your luggage, you can even see where your luggage is. You're like, oh, they're going to bring it down. It's going to come down in baggage claim in like 10 minutes because you can see where it is. It is game changing. I am buying you a suite of AirTags.
Okay, so here's the thing about me. I wear a lot of hats. As much as I love doing it, it has caused my hair to thin right on the sides of my head, kind of just like, I would say an inch above my ears on both sides. I have had extreme thinning. That is why for the last year and a half, I have been obsessed with taking my Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1 million people. They've seen thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For me, I would say it took about 4 months before I really started to see results. And then by month 6, I was all in. Like, I'm never going back. Get results you can really run your fingers through. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code Wholeheartedly. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code Wholeheartedly. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code Wholeheartedly.
I love a great deal as much as the next girl, but I'm not going to crawl through a bed of hot coals or burn my butt just to save a few bucks. Okay, it has to be easy. No hoops, no BS. So when Mint Mobile said it was easy to get wireless for $15 a month with the purchase of a 3-month plan, I called them on it. Turns out it is really easy. To get started, go to mintmobile.com/wholeheartedly. There you'll see that right now, all 3-month plans are only $15 a month, including the unlimited plan. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. Maybe get rid of a few, purging is good. Find out how easy it is to switch to Mint Mobile and get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/wholeheartedly. That's mintmobile.com/wholeheartedly. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/wholeheartedly. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
The irony that you're buying me AirTags. I have never lost a thing in my life. But this is a testament to how sleep deprived I was, because to do something so uncharacteristic of my entire life history is because when you don't sleep, your brain doesn't get the rest that it needs, and it literally doesn't function. The neurons were not neuroning. And so what ended up happening is I'm on the plane, we're taking off, I'm in tears. Oh, something else happened when I got on the plane, which I'll get to in a second. And Kay, who, again, on my team, she leaves an hour later. She's like, honey, I'm going to go look for it. I will find it. She texts me as I'm on the plane, and she says, you're not going to believe this. You left it at TSA. Kendall, I know. That means I literally walk through the same thing I do every time. I put the bag on the bag thing. I put my shoes in the shoe thing. I put my sweatshirt and I just let it go through. And I guess I walked through like that unslept zombie that I was. I put my shoes on and I just kept walking. Like, all I was thinking about, honest to God, was like sleeping on the plane. Because when you're that sleep deprived, all you want to do is just you start fantasizing about the next time you're going to be able to just lay your head down and close your eyeballs and like let your eyes hydrate again. It looked like I had blood in my eyes. That's how red they were. So before I find out that Angel K has found my bag, I'm going to get onto this plane. I'm like one of the last people on because I was running around in full, like swallowing a panic attack, running around Newark. I like get onto the plane. I'm the last one on. And I go to sit down, and the woman in the aisle next to me, she goes, hi, I'm so sorry. My husband is the row behind me in the aisle. Do you mind switching with me? And I'm thinking, but then I can't sleep because I need the side of the plane to lay my head down. And I looked at her and I had a tear. I kid you not, like on cue, a tear just rolls down my cheek and off my like jaw onto my arm. And I look at her and I go, I haven't slept in 84 hours. And if I don't have the side of the plane, I was like, I always say yes. If you ask me to switch seats, I have never said no to anybody to switch a seat. I did it on the last flight, no problem. But I'm going to die if I don't sleep right now. And I, for once in my entire life, put up a boundary. I put up this boundary. And I cried while doing it. I apologized profusely. And then when we were deplaning, I apologized to her again. And I was like, ma'am, I just thank you so much for letting me keep my seat so I could sleep. And she's looking at me like, I let you keep your seat. You don't need to thank me. But I felt so guilty for saying no.
No, but this is notes on growth, Galey. Galey set a boundary. Oh my, sorry. I mean, that sounded like I was like being belittling. I am so.
No, it's a big deal. It's worth celebrating.
Literally, I was like, as you were saying that, I was like, please tell me you said no. Please tell me you said no. Please tell me you said no. And this is notes on growth, you guys. And here's a big thing. This is a great takeaway to anybody listening. When you finally start setting boundaries for yourself, you are going to feel like an asshole.
I felt so bad I cried.
Yeah, you literally are going to feel like the worst human being alive because you spent your whole life allowing people to just take what they needed, right? But this is not a free-for-all. This is not, a free gift with purchase. Okay, you are Galey. There are boundaries. There are entry-level points. So I am so proud of you. And you got your sleep.
When I tell you, the plane took off and then it landed. There was no ascending, descending. We took off and then all of a sudden the wheels hit. That is how hard I slept and how quick. I always say a prayer during takeoff, please take care of my parents and my animals. And I go through all the people I love and I use that to take me out of my fear. And I literally individually ask God to take care of each of these people and let them know I'll be okay if something happens to me. And that's my kind of routine of takeoff. Didn't ask God for shit. I was out.
You got it.
I was like, God, you got this. I need sleep more than anything. Please give me that. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord, for all my blessings. Good night.
And I'm out. Yeah. And also having the peace of mind, knowing right before I fell asleep that Kay found the bag.
Yes.
I just went through the emotion of not sleeping and then full panic, hysteria, and then full relief. And that's exhausting. That's an exhausting roller coaster to ride. And that was the way my 84 hours of no sleep ended. So guys, I am not promoting not sleeping. I am promoting working hard and pursuing what you love. And I guarantee you, if you find something that you are so passionate about, you don't want to go to sleep, then you're doing something right. But you also have to, take a lesson from what I keep learning and relearning, which is that you do still need to find ways to sleep and take care of your body. And I'm still working on that. I'm definitely not perfect, but I found what I love, and not wanting to go to sleep so I can make it perfect is a testament to that.
Amen. And what's beautiful about it, a couple of things. One, what you went through with your body is what they do to Navy SEALs in BUDS training, which is like the boot camp that either you get in or out. They keep you up for 72 hours. I don't think they go into a fourth day. They go 3 days straight. And then there's all this like physical labor and being in the water and running up and down the beach. A lot of times this happens in Coronado. That was like Navy SEAL boot camp training. Now, I'm not making light of how hard that is. I'm not saying it's the same thing, but I will tell you the sleep deprivation, like it is crazy what it does to your brain. I'm shocked you weren't hallucinating and seeing like, I don't know, someone running off the walls of the plane, or like, the butter churner, like all circa, you know what I mean, on the plane wing from Alfred Hitchcock.
I think I am Navy SEAL certified at this point. All of the sleep deprivation while doing physical labor on your feet nonstop, climbing on top of ladders, having to do nail guns, you get perfect precision on painting, like wallpapering. It really is a wild thing. And it's why I think we all feel so alive. Like you got to see it. We feel so alive on install. I've never felt more alive in my life.
Well, and that's a big takeaway. We spoke about it last week on the podcast, but I've had time and space, well, like barely a week, and being on more planes and whatnot. And it's so cool though, like the energy that I felt, even though it was very tiring, just being around good women, creating something together is really beautiful. It reminds me of being on a film set. And it's something that I missed so much because it's a seemingly insurmountable task, but somehow in some way, when everybody just is doing their part and respecting each other and trying to help out, it gets done. It's such a testament to like the human condition and what happens when we come together. So I'm very proud of you for that, number one. And number two, I have to brag on you for a second. I thought this was the sweetest thing. So what's great too, not only did you set a boundary on the plane, yes, growth, yes. Then on top of it, you then took the day when you got home and you wiped the whole calendar of everything and you let yourself sleep and you got a 2-hour massage. And then you're also such a lovely human that you got massages for some of your teammates who were with you through the thick of it through the whole weekend and helped you out, and you surprised them because you wanted them to feel that same level and sense of relief. And so well done, my darling. Ding dong. You killed it.
I didn't know you were going to share that, but yeah.
Sorry, I had to. I'm proud of you.
No, two people who just deserve the entire world because they were there start to finish, did not close their eyes to ever go to sleep the entire time, were Maria and Kay. And so Kay actually, it's Saturday today. So she's getting her surprise at 4:00 today. Her husband's driving her to the Four Seasons and not telling her where they're going. And then right before they pull up, he's going to put me on speakerphone and I'm going to tell her that she has a 2-hour deep tissue massage waiting for her. And I got like a special foot, like paraffin treatment and a face mask thing. And Maria already got her surprise on Wednesday. I told her I needed her to drive to DC to like do something for you, Kendall, like sign off for something. And she was like, okay. And I put like a random address that was near the Four Seasons in DC. Kay's going to the one in Palm Beach. And so she's driving there. And then I was like, oh crap. What if she's wearing, like those athletic shorts where you don't wear underwear underneath because it has the long. And so I was like, how do I ask Maria if she's wearing underwear to go sign for something? And I was like, hey, what are you wearing? She's like, yoga pants. And I'm like, some people wear thongs with yoga pants. Some people don't, but it'll be very awkward if she walks into a massage and she has no underwear to wear. So this was like a whole nother thing. But anyways, it turned out we were okay because she had underwear on. Thank you, Maria, for wearing underwear. Sorry, I'm putting that on the podcast. So like she got her surprise and Kay's getting hers in a couple hours and I'm so excited, but they deserve it. You gotta take care of the people who take care of you. And I think the same goes in friendships and in work environments. Like put out what you want to receive and it will come back tenfold. So they put out so much and they receive so much more. Wholeheartedly is sponsored by BetterHelp. I've always believed that your secrets keep you sicker, which means that the more you can get out and get off your chest, the better off you will be. And the best place that I have found for me to get my secrets out and kind of work through the things that are just so built up in my head is by talking with a therapist. We are behind closed doors, or when I use BetterHelp, behind a screen, because I do it all online. It really allows me to be unapologetically myself and have kind of stream of consciousness without any fear of judgment, knowing that there's only going to be help on the other side of it. So if you're thinking about starting therapy, I implore you to give BetterHelp a try. Like I said, it's entirely online and it's super convenient, flexible, and you can suit it to fit your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a licensed therapist, and huge kudos, you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/whole today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/whole, WHOLE.
Good taste is easy to spot, but it's hard to pin down. You know it when you see it. And in today's culture, there's no greater signifier of taste than the car that you drive. You want something sophisticated, but not stodgy, daring, yet classic, approachable, but with an air of opulence. And that's where the Range Rover Evoque comes in. It's an elegant SUV where sophisticated design, advanced technology, and premium materials meet. The Range Rover Evoque introduces a new dimension of refinement and luxury. Clean lines, sumptuous materials, and advanced technology come together in the Range Rover Evoque. A modern, chiseled taillight graphic creates a sense of continuous motion and contributes to the signature aesthetic of the Evoque. A calm, minimalist cabin anchored by a center console featuring a tactile gear shifter. The Range Rover Evoque is art and craft in equal measure, showcasing meticulous design and attention to detail. Explore the Range Rover Evoque at LandRoverUSA.com. Visit LandRoverUSA.com to configure your own Range Rover Evoque.
So speaking of putting out so much,
do we want to bring on our guests?
Yes, Kendall and I just poured our hearts in to creating this beautiful new apartment for Taryn and her new husband, because she just got married. She's a newlywed, and we are bringing her on to join us today. So without further ado, hey, Taryn, welcome to the pod.
How are you guys?
Hi.
I love seeing you in that apartment and seeing Bruce. She's got what she calls a city cow. She has a Great Dane named Bruce. How many pounds is he?
He's 150 pounds. And he's actually, if you're listening, he's in my lap as we speak. Very happy boy. He loves the apartment the most. He loves it.
We got so many when we did our Q&A on the pod Instagram, we got so many questions about how Bruce is doing in the new apartment. Is he knocking anything over? Is the space working for him? How's he acclimating?
People are so sweet. People really love Bruce, which is always shocks me and surprises me about how much some people will be like, I follow you because like you're cool, but like I'm actually following you to see the dog, which doesn't offend me at all. People love this dog. I mean, I love my dog. He's doing great. I have this chair in the corner of the room in my living room that I love to read in, and I've already been devouring a book. I stayed up till like 1 a.m. reading this book last night. And it's the moment I get up to go to the bathroom and get a glass of water, Bruce climbs into this chair, but he's so big that we call it croissant mode, because he has to fold himself in half to fit into the chair. But he loves this chair, and so now I have to share with him. He loves the apartment. He loves the rug. Galey did this cool thing. I guess people have heard of this before. I didn't know about rug pads. Where you put a pad from Home Depot under a rug to make it squishy. I've never heard of this in my life. But Bruce loves it because it's basically a Tempur-Pedic rug now. So he lays on the floor in a patch of sun every day. And he never used to do that before. So he's loving the apartment.
I love that you appreciate the rug pad. So what we did is, and thanks to Kiana, who's part of your team, I had her go to Home Depot in the middle of install in a mad dash on the last day, Sunday. And we already had like rug pads, but I needed something a little thicker for Bruce because he's so big. And I wanted his joints to be comfy on that rug because the living room is the biggest space he'll be in. And so I double layered it and then put like a no skid, like no slide sticky mat underneath all of it, and had to individually cut each piece because they didn't make a 9x12. So we probably spent an extra 5 hours cutting everything to make that special rug for Bruce. So I love that he's appreciating it.
You're amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's just incredible how much thought and detail went into every single corner and inch of the apartment, and it shows. And I haven't left my house in a week, only to walk the dog, and then I come back. Even I've seen friends, I just make them come over to the house. Like, I won't leave my apartment. I love it here. I really don't know if New York City will ever see me again, because I just love this apartment so much. So thank you so much.
Oh, that makes me so happy. So I want to give you a proper introduction, because if anybody's been sleeping under a rock and they don't know who Taryn Delaney Smith is, you're going to now, and you're going to be as obsessed as Kendall and I are with this amazing person in our life. So she's got 2.3 million followers across all platforms. They're known as the Chaos Goblins because, well, if you follow her, you'll understand. She's got these characters that she does. I think my two favorite are Denise and Tammy. Again, you need to follow her so you can understand what we're talking about. But she is so fun and so funny and so unapologetically herself and genuine, and just says whatever she's thinking. And it's so refreshing to see somebody so authentic, but also authentically funny on social media. And I think that's why so many people adore her. But what I think is the most inspiring about your story is that Taryn moved to New York City in 2018, and she only had $310 in her bank account, which might get you a croissant and a coffee at this point. And then she was first generation in her family to go to college, and to pay her way through college, she was waitressing full time. Well, come 2020, what happens when the pandemic hits is that the restaurants are closed. She can no longer waitress. She loses her student housing, and now she has to find another way to keep making it so that she can make money and support herself, get through college, and graduate. So what does she do? She starts cleaning apartments. And this is my favorite part of this story, because in just 2 years, she went from cleaning toilets somewhere randomly in New York City to having a crown placed on her head in 2022 when she became Miss New York. Like, let that sink in for a second. This girl is sitting here cleaning somebody else's toilet on her hands and knees, and then she is on stage getting this amazing recognition. And she obviously performed amazing in the Miss New York, in the competition. And so I think that there's something to be said about your story and how the glow up can happen no matter where you are right now. You can make it happen for yourself. And I think it also comes back to not just becoming Miss New York, but what you've done with your life on social media and how you transitioned all over again. And it all started with a TikTok. So I'd love to hear your story of your first TikTok and how that came to be and how it kind of changed your life and where you're going now.
Yeah, so before I was Miss New York, after I was done cleaning, well, I did get to a point where I was like, I can't clean any more houses, I gotta stop. And so I lived on the Upper East Side, which is this really coveted neighborhood here in New York City. But I was so broke that the house was literally crumbling in on itself. We had roaches, we had a really bad mold problem. And I was like, man, if only people knew like what it's like to live on the Upper East Side when you're not a squillionaire like your neighbors. Like, all my neighbors were super rich, but like my apartment was crap. And so I started making this video. By the way, I didn't have a TikTok. I told my mom the idea, and she was like, you know what you should do? My mom was like, you should make a TikTok. And I was like, ew, no. I was like, that is so not me. Like, I'm not going to do that. I literally have no profile picture, nothing, no videos. I make a video, I send it to my mom, and I close out the app with no plans to ever come back to it. I just made this skit for my mom because we just thought it was so funny. And that next day I'm walking to work, and my husband, then boyfriend, calls me. And he said, Taryn, did you make a TikTok?
Oh, no.
And I was like, yeah, I didn't know. And he said, this guy that I haven't seen in like 10 years sent me your video and said, is this your girlfriend? And he goes, do you know how many views that video has? And I said, oh my God, does it have like 100 views? I was like, does it have like 100 views? And he goes, Taryn, it has 3 million views. You have to go look right now. It has 3 million views. That video now has 21 million views. It made my career. It absolutely changed the trajectory of my life. My life changed very quickly after that, because when my manager first met me, she was like, all right, we got to strike while the iron's hot. what are you doing? Like, what do you want with your life? And I was like, well, I'm a receptionist and I work in a call center and I'd love to not do that. And she was like, yeah, you should do content creation full time. I'm a manager. You can make money doing this and I can help you. And she said, what are your dreams? I was like, I really want to be Miss New York. I really want to have my own show. I want to be on a show. I want to act. I want to write. I really want to tell stories. So she was like, yeah, we can make all that happen. And I was sitting there in the coffee shop, and I actually remember fear is an amazing thing because fear disguises itself as rationale. You know, fear is very tricky, right? Because fear is just protecting you. That's all. But it really does feel in the moment. I always think back, like, if I had listened to fear, I'd probably still be working in that job that I hated. Doesn't matter what the job is. I'd probably be still in a job that I don't like. But at the time, I remember when she said, we can make all that happen. You can do this. You can do all the things that you want to do. In that moment, I remember feeling so deflated and being like, I shouldn't have come. Like, I shouldn't have gotten so excited about this, because hearing her say that to me, I was like, yeah, right. Okay. It just felt so impossible and so unbelievable.
No, that's incredible. And I think that's so interesting that you had this moment of success after kind of seemingly out of the blue, but you put yourself out there. It was authentically you. You did it because you were being Taryn and having fun. But let's talk about that feeling of that fear. Would you call it a sense of like almost imposter syndrome, that you had all these big dreams, but then now that it's right there in front of you at your doorstep, you know, what gave you the courage to actively say, no, I'm going to bet on myself and I'm going to step out and not listen to this other voice in my head, to this fear-based voice?
Well, one, I went home to my now husband, my boyfriend, and I was like, yeah, this lady wants me to do content creation and I think I'm not going to do it. I'm going to say no. She wants me to quit my job, so I can't do it. And it was actually my husband that was like, T, you've got to do it. He was like, you got to do it, man. Like, you're so talented. Like, you can do it. And I think I really just needed to hear that affirmation of people that I love and people around me that are like, we're going to support you. You should try. And I just remember Alex saying, well, why? Yeah, you have to at least try. And it was the understanding that if I say no, I'm not really protecting myself. I'm actually just not trying. Like, really, that's what it is it's not, it's safer to not try, because then you can never fail. And so I think it was just the realization that it's like, there is no guarantee that this is all going to work out. You cannot guarantee people that their dreams are going to work out, unfortunately. But what you can guarantee is you should at least try. You should at least try, because that can guarantee you'll never fail so long as you try.
Amen to that. That's so true. I think what's so special is that you had someone who knows you so well and has your best interest at heart. And obviously you love to pieces because you guys recently got married, and the wedding videos are so, I like cry when I watch them on Instagram and TikTok. I'm like, you guys are the sweetest. It's such a testament to having wonderful people around you that even when you're doubting yourself personally, they'll cheer you up and they'll build you up.
Yeah, I think that's another testament to both cherish the people that you keep around you and then also be thoughtful about the people that you have around you, because it can be the difference between somebody telling you, yeah, do it. Like, let's go. Let me help you. And then the voice of, what if I had somebody in my life that was like, yeah, dude, don't do that. You're not talented enough. Like, imagine that makes such a huge difference in the trajectory of your life.
And especially if he, as a man, wasn't so respectful of and in love with you and wanted your best for you. You know what I mean? I think a lot of times in relationships, we learn before we're in the right one that there can be jealousy from the other partner. There can be someone that holds you back rather than someone that pours into you and pushes you forward.
I think when you don't believe in yourself necessarily, all it takes is one person that you love who does believe in you to help you find the strength to go forward and do it. And if you don't have somebody that feels that way about you right now, that's okay. It just means you need to find it in yourself, right? So if you don't have an Alec, right, which is Taryn's partner, if you don't have an Alec, like, be your own Alec and find a way to help yourself overcome those fears, because everybody has a destiny, right? I feel like your story, Taryn, it's giving Princess Diaries, except instead of Genovia, it's New York. And you just like came in and like now you have the dress on and the crown and like just picturing you cleaning somebody's nasty apartment and now you're there. It's such a glow up and I love it. And what I really am excited about is when you were just talking about all these dreams that you had, from being a diplomat to writing to having a show and all these things, like, I didn't even share yet with the people that you have an Amazon MGM Studios and Hello Sunshine show called Influenced on Amazon Prime that you can watch right now. When I tell you, when I saw that Reese Witherspoon started following you,
I made it.
That I gasped. I was just like, that's it. She made it.
We're done. I can just stop now if I really wanted to. Yeah, I know. It's so cool. It's like, it's such an honor to, I think it's even just an honor that sometimes some of the people that I've watched my entire life, even like know my name, that's good enough for me. They didn't even have to like my work. If they just like know, they like saw my work one time and they liked it, that's so cool.
And honestly, because of the reach that you're having with your following and the messaging that you're putting out and the way you're making people laugh, which is maybe a nice reprieve from something difficult they're going through, but then also the way you're sharing your story, and you're such an advocate for giving back. You do so much in the community, especially for the people that are homeless, and what you're giving back to them and supporting those charities. And you're on the boards of things. Like, you are such a giver. What's really cool about this is that your pipe dream of being a diplomat, I think you're reaching literally tens of millions more people and lives with good and kindness by doing what you're doing and positive influence than if you had become a diplomat. So how amazing is that?
What I'm curious about was where the stories came from. So I love, obviously, Heaven's Receptionist. I personally just want to hang with Denise. She's a boss. And then Tammy, who, God bless. So she is this demon from the underworld that's trying to make her way into heaven. You can correct me if I can get it better. But the amount of healing and how you're helping people by talking about their loved ones who may have passed on, it's incredible to see in the comments. But I also feel like it's a lot of pressure because a lot of people are sharing their personal stories with you and you're putting that out there for the world. So how does it feel to create content that connects so deeply and emotionally to people?
I think it's incredible. I feel like when I'm able to comfort people, and I'm like, some of the emails that I receive, I mean, I like 2 nights ago, I sat on my couch and I just cried reading an email from someone, and I responded and we talked, and it's really sweet. There are a lot of Denise request videos that the world will never see because I make them for individuals. Last month I made a video and it was just played at someone's wake because I found out that this person really loved Denise, and I was so, and I know it makes me cry. Like, that's so sweet.
And for anybody who hasn't yet seen your TikToks and your Instagram, can you explain exactly what Denise is and the character?
Yeah, Denise the Heaven Receptionist originally is just a comedic skit, and it is based in comedy. It was an idea I had last year, and basically Denise runs Heaven like the DMV, which is what I largely imagined. She's a New Yorker. This is like how she talks. And she just makes sure the line moves along, you know. She doesn't run the prayer department. She just greets the dead. So people always get that confused. I don't answer prayers. Not a miracle worker. I just check people in and out. So that's Denise. And she's the first face you see on the other side. And there's a lot of funniness. There's a lot of fun and comedy that came from that. But I should have known that it would also be really important and impactful and emotional for people too. I had no idea that was going to happen.
It's so cool taking something that is probably the most devastating thing any human will ever experience, which is losing a loved one and not really knowing what's going to happen to them, and using that kind of like receptionist at Heaven's Gate and making it into comedy and allowing people to smile and laugh through it and feel a little bit comforted by it because it's taking some of the scariness out of it. Although your character Tammy is terrifying AF, but I think it's just such a beautiful way to help comfort people and make light of something that is actually really heavy. And you do it so flawlessly, so effortlessly. Your accents are insane. I know you already have a show, but I think you've got like 10 more.
Oh, I think I have like 10, I have like 20 show ideas. So I hope I get to make them in my life. That'd be so cool.
Can we manifest a Taryn Delaney like full variety show?
Oh, I think that'd be super fun. Yeah, I think that would be super fun. I have so many ideas. There's so many things I'd like to do. So we'll see, you know?
This message is brought to you by the Cologuard test. Cologuard is a one-of-a-kind way to feel more in control of your colon cancer screening through a use-at-home test with none of the prep that's required for a colonoscopy. The Cologuard test is the only FDA-approved non-invasive screening test that looks for both altered DNA and blood in your stool. The American Cancer Society recommends if you are at an average risk, you begin screening for colon cancer at age 45. And because many people with early-stage colon cancer have no symptoms, colon cancer screenings are crucial for early detection. Plus, most insured patients pay $0, and if follow-up care is needed, this is usually covered by insurance. With zero downtime, no special preparation, and a use-at-home screening test that's delivered right to your door, it's time to put your health first. So if you're 45 or older and at average risk, ask your healthcare provider about screening for colon cancer with the Cologuard test. You can also request a Cologuard prescription today at Cologuard.com/podcast. Do not use Cologuard if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease, and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colorectal cancer. False positive and negative results may occur. Any positive result should be followed by a colonoscopy, not a replacement for a colonoscopy in high-risk patients. The Cologuard test is available by prescription only.
After the end of a good fight, you deserve an ice-cold reward. Medalla, you put in the hours, the energy, the tough labor, because you know the bigger the fight, the better the reward. Medalla, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
So every week, Kendall and I, we have our Instagram for the pod, Wholeheartedly Pod, and we ask people questions. And this week we asked them, you know, what do you want to know either about Taryn's glow up story or about the experience of having a surprise reveal in her apartment? And we had so many requests. But the first one I'm going to ask is somebody wanted to hear what Tammy's reaction would be when she first saw the apartment walking through it. So if you can give us a Tammy breakdown of what she's seeing in the apartment. And for the record, for those of you who don't know, Tammy, explain who Tammy is.
Tammy, and I feel like Tammy's fans, I want you guys to know, like, nobody rides harder for anyone in history than the people ride for Tammy. Her fan base might be smaller than, like, compared to, like, a Taylor Swift, but I promise you, nobody rides harder. I get emails of people, like, checking on Tammy, wanting, like, responses from Tammy. Like, people love Tammy. Tammy is a ghoul, to put it very gently. We don't know why Tammy is so ghoulish. That's the purpose. Everybody wants to know. I don't think you guys are ever going to know why Tammy is so ghoulish. She is like kind of like a dark shadow creature. She's very, very old. The point of Tammy, I think the biggest question is, if Tammy's so ghoulish, if Tammy's so odd, then why is she in heaven? And I think ultimately the argument is that who are you to say who makes it? Who are any of us to say who makes it and who's good and who's bad? And I think that is a deeply held belief I do have, is that, you know, I believe in love thy neighbor, and I mean that radically, and I mean it deeply. And I think Tammy is this great embodiment of that. And I think the fan base that Tammy has, she has a very scary voice. Tammy, this is Tammy. So she has this really scary voice. But the point is when you watch Tammy, she's funny. And I've had so many people email me or DM me or comment and like, you know, I used to really not like her character because I was so off put by her. But now I find myself looking forward to seeing her in the episodes. And as funny as that is, I think there's also something very sweet about this sort of statement we're making with Tammy, which is everybody's lovable. No matter how odd you are, no matter what you've done.
I am a Tammy stan. I love her. She makes me laugh every time I see her, every time I hear her. It also might give me goosebumps because she's a little creepy, but she's so funny. And the way the way that she views things, which is why I'm so excited to hear how you think Tammy, what would Tammy's, 3 or 4 sentence feedback be about, if we did a surprise reveal in your apartment for Tammy, what would she say? Her reaction?
I think she would immediately come in and be like, hold on. I think first, if you can't see my house, we have this great candelabras on the walls, which I love. Is that the word for it?
Yeah, they're candle sconces on the wall.
I'm like a candelabra.
Candelabra is more like chandelier.
What year is it? It's very fancy opera. Very accurate. I think she'd be like, "Oh, I enjoy the candelabra." And then I think the second thing she would just ask is, "May I know where the garbage is?" Because Tammy loves garbage. I think she would be very insistent on finding out where the garbage is.
I was so thinking that we had so much trash. We were opening things up. I mean, there was constant, like your kitchen became like where we would stuff everything and then take it down. And all I was thinking when you were thinking that was like, yep, Tammy would love this.
The first thought you guys, when I walked in the house, one thing that somebody on the team said, they were like, you wouldn't believe how much garbage we set downstairs. And I think Tammy would be like, no, why did you take that? Like, she'd be super upset that you guys threw all the garbage away. She loves boxes.
I'm freaking out, getting like a live reaction of Tammy, one of my favorite characters ever, to like the space that we created. I am just full on fangirling right now. That is so amazing. Okay, so another question is, how did you three meet?
I know everyone's like, wow, or why do you know Galey, Alex? And I'm like, first of all, why are you guys so surprised that I know Galey? Don't make it weird. You're making me feel like I'm not cool. I can make the story really short. The story is in my second or third meeting with my manager when I started content creation. One of my big problems was I actually wasn't really on social media. I didn't use it the way other people use it. I had an Instagram, and that was about it. A Facebook, that was about it. And so my manager, in trying to kind of pull out of me, well, what do you like online? Because if you're going to be a content creator, you should definitely know what you like and what you don't like, right? That's important when you're creating. And she was like, just name anybody that you religiously follow. And I was like, one of my favorite creators is Galey Alex. And my manager was like, oh, I know her. And I was like, no, you don't. And I was like so excited. So when the opportunity finally came to meet Galey through my manager at a premiere for her show, I totally did not play it cool at all. I blubbered and fangirled all over Galey. I don't usually ever get starstruck really by anyone. I was actually very, very nervous and very starstruck to meet Galey just because I'd watched her for such a long time. I was when I was living in France, that was another lifetime. I lived in France for a while. Don't worry about that. Just to keep over that. I was living in France and I used to lay in bed in my little French apartment, and I would watch Galey's videos fantasizing about having my own apartment one day. And I was like, maybe Galey would do my apartment. And that literally happened. And that's how I know Galey. And then Galey introduced me.
Yeah, so that's another crazy. You're really good at, I don't like calling it manifesting. I call it woman festing, because no man fested this. So you woman fested so hard because you're like, oh, I see this person on TikTok. Like, I'm following them. I wonder if they can do my apartment someday. Here we are. I literally just surprised you with an apartment. You were like, I want to help people and give back more. And now you have millions of followers and you're helping, I guarantee, every single one of them because you make their day a little bit better. And then you're like, I want to be on a show one day. Now you have a show with Hello Sunshine on Amazon Prime. Like, everything that you are, can you manifest world peace for us?
I can tell everybody listening right now the secret to woman festing. Really, it's real. It happens. You just don't shut up about it. I just never shut up about the things that I really excite me. I think a lot of people keep their dreams to themselves. Don't do that. When you keep your dreams to yourself because you either are worried that they won't happen. I understand how that feels. You're worried they won't happen. So don't say them out loud, because if you don't say them out loud, then no one can know that you didn't make that dream happen. Don't do that. Do not shut up about your dreams, with things that you want. Talk about them and talk about them and talk about them. I talked about the life I wanted in New York for at least 10 years before it really happened. But when it finally happened, it's funny because everyone in my life is like, dude, you talked about this. You always talked about this. And that's the thing, is when you talk about this kind of stuff, when you talk about, I really want to be on a show. People start listening and keeping their ear to the ground for you, and because they want these things for you, And so I just think it's really important. You're worth the dreams that you want. You deserve the things that you want. And never let anyone make you feel like you don't deserve your dreams, and do not shut up about them. Just keep talking about them. It might take you 10 years, but hell, you'll get there.
I love the quote, everyone thinks you're crazy until it works, and then you're a genius. So you just keep being crazy, saying all these things that you want for your life. You want to have a show? Say it. You want to have a great day in New York City? Say it. For me, I draw it in the steam on the glass on the shower every night. I manifest whatever it is that I'm thinking about and that I want. And I physically draw it with my finger, and then it disappears, when the steam goes away. But I have to I'm constantly just putting it out there to make it happen. And I feel like people might think you're crazy, but they'll think you're a genius and it works. So keep doing it.
And with that, what are we manifesting next? What are you talking about to everybody that you're ready to take on in this next chapter?
I talked all this mess about like, don't be shy to say your dreams.
What? Come on.
You get a little nervous because you're like, what if I say it and it doesn't happen?
Say it.
You know what? Screw it. If I say it and it doesn't happen, then you guys can all just be like, well, at least she dreamed. Anyway, I have stepped into acting, which has been so fun. I'm actually, I don't know if I can talk about it yet. One day I'll talk about it a little bit more, but I have had some opportunities to have small roles in projects. But I would like to have a larger role, in a show or a sitcom, especially comedy. I would love to act more. I'm an actor, so I would like to be a working actor. And more than that, I would really love to write and produce my own show. I would love to write stories and create characters for the big screen. And I think that it's the most important thing that I can do with my life is create characters that people really love and see themselves in. I would love to do that with my life.
You've already dominated the little screen, right? Our cell phones and our laptops with the characters that you're creating. There is no doubt in my mind that you're going to dominate the big screen and your name's going to be all over the credits. And just like you came to my premiere and you weathered what was the worst flood ever to get there, literally Taryn almost died.
Hell yeah.
And like
I almost
like everybody who came to my premiere in Fort Lauderdale almost died that day. But I will weather any storm to be at your premiere, and I will be there, and I will be fangirling and tearing up and telling you how excited I am to be there. So something that we do at the end of every episode is we talk about what are we working on this week. And it can be something small, it can be something massive and philosophical, but it's just a way to kind of hold Kendall and I accountable to kind of what we're working on. And I think it gives people a chance to think about introspectively what they can be working on. So I'm gonna lob it over to Kendall first. Kendall, what are you working on this week?
I am taking a complete rest day after I get back from this trip. We fly back at 6 a.m. tomorrow after this wedding tonight. And so I'm going to be a bump on a log and not feel guilty about it and just shut everything off and disassociate for a day. So maybe I will scroll TikTok and watch Taryn's content. So that makes me feel good. But other than that, we're going to allow ourselves a day to completely just disconnect and get back to center.
I love that. I love that for you. I'll woman fest that for you.
Thank you.
Okay. Short and sweet, guys. I'm working on AirTags. That's it.
Oh, I'm sending you some for certain.
What did you lose?
Remember when you texted me?
Oh, your suitcase.
Yeah.
Galey, that was bad.
That was so bad.
Blessings, though.
Yeah. Blessings to Kay for finding it.
She turned up again.
It was so chaotic in the worst way. So I'm working on AirTags this week. Taryn, what are you working on?
What am I working on? I'm turning 28 this week. I turned 28 on Monday. So I was kind of like, I always feel like the first week of your new age, it's like you really kind of got to start out strong because it's the theme of that year. So I would like to work on this week so that I can continue doing it throughout the last bit of my 20s. I think that I have always been one to self-deprecate. Like I was bullied a lot as a kid, so a lot of my comedy stems from I'm really good at poking fun at myself, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think the most confident people are confident because they can poke fun at themselves. But I have noticed that mentally, I have developed this habit where I think let me make fun of myself first because everyone else in the room's already thinking it. And I've started to notice that while, yes, this has been really good for my work, I don't think it's actually been really helpful for my mental health in the last few years. And I think that ultimately, it's really pushing me, and I need to stop doing this, is that I've made a lot of decisions about what everyone else in the room is thinking about me. It's never positive. I think people think all these really negative, embarrassing things about me. So instead, I'm walking into rooms, and I want to try to actually believe the best in myself and in others first. So the moment I have one of those thoughts, and I want to do this week, the moment I notice one of those thoughts where I think that sales gal just looked at me and she thinks I'm dressed really badly to be in this store, I'll stop myself and I would rather go, or She just likes that you're wearing sweatpants and Chanel, and she thinks you're really cool and confident. Am I right? Maybe not. But I think it's going to affect the way that I think about myself and the way that I look at the world. Because lately, when I walk into the world, I find that I'm feeling I want to make myself smaller because I'm worried people are judging me. When in reality, that's a choice I've made for them. I'd really like to work on my internal dialogue.
I love that. And I pray that you don't ever make yourself smaller, because we want more and the most and the biggest in all of you, because of how you make people feel, and the laughter and the comfort that you bring so many, and all the charity work that you do. You give. And so we don't need that any smaller, but I do want to make sure you're also giving to yourself too, because that's a lot to put out, and it might make you feel, I don't know, less full. So I love that you're thinking of it like that. Where can everybody find you? Because if they're not following you, they should be. So kind of walk us through all the places that we can follow Taryn.
Well, I live on, I'm just kidding. I can't follow you. Just make sure I don't see you. I'll get scared. Just kidding. My stalker's listening to this. He'll be invigorated. You can find me at Taryn Delaney Smith. Taryn, Taryn Delaney, that's Delanie Smith, on Instagram and TikTok. Yeah, that's where I'm most active, where I'm also on Facebook, but I feel like you should follow me on those two platforms.
That's awesome. And as always, you guys can follow us. Kendall is at Kendall Tool, and you can follow her amazing newsletter. She's at kendalltool.co if you want to sign up for that, which I highly encourage you to. And I'm at Galey Alex on all platforms. So thank you guys so much. Taryn, thank you so much for giving us your apartment and trusting us blindly. Thank you for your amazing friendship, and just thank you for the content that you put into the world. That is like social media doing good, and we need more of that and more people like you, even though you are one of a kind, which is why the song that we have come up with, because every episode is a song title. Kendall, you wanna sing it for us?
Yes, bear with me. We got a cold. I think we know it, okay? You're one in a million.
Pageant song. I know the whole dance.
You know the dance?
I know the whole dance from Miss Congeniality. You're one in a million. Dun, dun, dun.
Immediately thought of you because it's New York. It's like, obviously Sandy Bullock is like fully self-possessed like you are, and just an icon. And we're like, oh, this is a song for her. She's one in a million.
Thank you. But just to be clear, she was Miss New Jersey.
True.
To be fair.
No, she was Miss.
But they were wearing Statue of Liberty like outfits in their thing. So for those of you who don't know, the song One in a Million by Bassan is from Miss Congeniality, which tracks because Taryn was Miss New York. However, we're kind of changing it because it's more like 1 in 8 million, because that's how many people are in New York, and that's how many people will beat to become Miss New York. So congrats on being 1 in 8 million, and we love you so much, and we love all of you. Thank you for being here with us every Wednesday. We appreciate you and giving us the space to keep doing this, and we love you with
our whole heart. So we will see you guys next time. Taryn, thank you so much. Be sure to give her a follow and keep showing up in the world exactly as you are. We need more of you.
Thank you. Love y'all so much. Thank you.
Love you. Bye.
Love you.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. With some elbow grease and a whole lot of love, you transform 100,000 miles and a body full of rust into a drive that's all your own. LED headlights, spoilers, whatever you need, eBay Motors has it at affordable prices. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride every time. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Cut the commute and up the convenience for your next dermatologist visit. Non-segmental vitiligo patients 12 and older can virtually discuss repigmentation with Opzelura ruxolitinib cream as soon as today. Get started on your pursuit for repigmentation with topical Opzelura. Visit Opzelura.com to connect with a derm to see if Opzelura is right for you. Provider availability may vary. For patients taking therapeutic biologics, other JAK inhibitors, or strong immunosuppressants such as cyclosporin, Opzelura is not recommended.
Opzelura can lower your ability to fight infections. Tell your doctor if you have or had an infection, TB, hepatitis B or C, blood clots in your legs or lungs, heart attack, stroke, cancer, high cholesterol, are a smoker, or pregnant. Opzelura may cause serious lung infections, certain cancers, immune system problems, blood clots, and low blood cell counts. Major cardiovascular events or death occurred in those 50 plus taking oral JAK inhibitors. The most common side effects were acne and itching where applied.
Call 866-564-8484 to learn more about prescription Opzelura for non-segmental vitiligo. Cut the commute and up the convenience for your next dermatologist visit. Non-segmental vitiligo patients 12 and older can virtually discuss repigmentation with Opzelura ruxolitinib cream as soon as today. Get started on your pursuit for repigmentation with topical Opzelura. Visit Opzelura.com to connect with a derm to see if Opzelura is right for you. Provider availability may vary. For patients taking therapeutic biologics, other JAK inhibitors, or strong immunosuppressants such as cyclosporin, Opzelura is not recommended.
Opzelura can lower your ability to fight infections. Tell your doctor if you have or had an infection, TB, hepatitis B or C, blood clots in your legs or lungs, heart attack, stroke, cancer, high cholesterol, are a smoker, or pregnant. Opzelura may cause serious lung infections, certain cancers, immune system problems, blood clots, and low blood cell counts. Major cardiovascular events or death occurred in those 50 plus taking oral JAK inhibitors. The most common side effects were acne and itching where applied.
Call 866-564-8484 to learn more about prescription Opzelura for non-segmental vitiligo.
Let's see. I could go casual chic or dress for success.
With so many looks, picking out what to wear can be difficult. But with Walmart, picking out a fresh pair of glasses is easy.
Maybe it's an athleisure day.
That's because Walmart has top brands and styles for you to choose from. So it's easy to find the right frames for whatever you're feeling.
Here's my outfit of the day and the perfect pair of cat-eye frames to match.
New glasses to make your styles pop. Welcome to your Walmart. Valid prescription required.